All right. Transition. And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. This is the latest episode of Turn My Headphones Up with TGrumm DigitalMayne and KonkyTalks. Guess we should do the rounds real quick about each one of us, just short introductions. Grum, you want to go first?
Hi, I'm TGrumm. I'm a Twitch streamer. I do Grand Theft Auto roleplay and some variety stuff, and I love music.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Digi, you
Grum. It's your boy Digi DigitalMayne. Find me on my channel, twitch.tv/DigitalMayne. And I'm in Twitter jail right now. How is everybody doing tonight? What's up?
All right, and my name's KonkyTalks. Steve, aka Bald McBaldman, I guess. I don't know, fuck shit.
I know we have the two stages like quarantine here. Is you're just like fuck it, and I'm just like I'm not touching it. It's gonna stay up here. Be
wild.
It's a lot of hair.
Yeah, look, with your beard and your hair, I'd imagine you just throw out like.
Oh, 100%. This is probably the longest I've gone without getting a haircut in years.
Awesome.
5 months? Yeah. No, 4 months. Sorry.
4 months.
Looking beautiful.
Thanks.
I was on the same track record, and then I was just like, fuck it. And also was kind of weird too. I thought my dad was. This was initially because my dad was gonna start like chemotherapy, and it turns out he doesn't need chemo. He's just gonna do radiation, and so he'll get to keep his hair. So
Hey,
yeah,
whatever.
That's good.
Super better, way better than chemo from what they were telling us. But yeah, not to get off track, so welcome in, guys. This is the second episode of Turn My Headphones Up. And last episode, if you missed it, we actually have it on the YouTube with none of the songs on there. But if you want to check it out, it's on our YouTube channel here, or my YouTube channel specifically. It was about Mac Miller's first album, Swimming. And at the end of the show 2 weeks ago, right? That was 2 weeks ago. Feels like a fucking eternity, dude, since our last show. We listened to the beginning of Circles, Mac Miller's like album that was released after he had passed away. And Grum, I feel like you've got a lot more to say about this album than I do, in terms of like what to expect and what we're just gonna kind of get in terms of vibes. So I'll let you handle it and take it away.
So Circles, as far as an album goes, is very isolating. Not isolated, but isolating. You listen to it, and the vibe that I always got from it was just there's no features on it. I don't think Swimming had any features on it either, but it's just Mac, and it's just Mac kind of just dumping all of his thoughts. But a lot of them are, not great. They're very alone. Their thoughts of feeling alone or feeling isolated from the world, be it self-isolation or imposed isolation, and kind of like the struggle he goes through daily to just live his life the way he wants to, but also having to meet the expectations of other people. There's a couple songs on here that like are very on the nose with that, and then there are some that when you listen to, you kind of get that by the end of the song and you go, I need to kind of listen to that again, because at least I did. That was me. So that's what we're gonna get into with Circles.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The whole Digi, and feel free to add your own perspective too. But for me, this album was very much like it was almost like you're just inside his head the whole time, and it was very hard to listen to in some instances because it's just like it's so raw. In comparison to what Swimming Pools was, like Swimming Pools felt like it had a lot of like artistry around and instrumentals around like his life and his experiences, and he was also like letting other people aid in telling this story about like his addiction and heartbreak and depression and mental health issues, and he was sort of like, I don't know, it was like a journey sort of thing. It was like a a painting, if you will, with a bunch of collaborative artists. And this one, even though he is collaborating with a lot of the same artists from Swimming, it feels like it's him and just him for a lot of it. And even with like the harmonies and extra vocals, it's mostly him doing it. And so I found myself listening to the album almost like songs over and over again, because I felt like I couldn't really like connect with it because it was more of like a dialogue than it was music to a certain degree. Does that make sense?
Yes, it definitely does. Now, I will have to say I'm having a big technical difficulty, and I should restart my computer, so I can be right back in about 90 seconds.
Okay, do it. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Be right back, boys.
Sounds good.
Okay. No, that was the album for me. It was a lot of like just kind of like facing a lot of the reality of Mac dying. For me, it was like, I get excited because like, ooh, a posthumous, Mac Miller album. Like, damn, it's bittersweet that this is going to be the last like original Mac Miller album. And so I got excited. I'm listening to it, and I listened to Circles, and it kind of like, we listened to it at the end of the last episode, where it was kind of like, oh, what? Okay, this is nothing like Swimming. This is a lot of same kind of vibe, but weirdly the message is entirely different. And it's just like, oh boy, like, what did I get? Why? Like, I'm still excited for the music, but not necessarily excited for the message of the music, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, definitely. I 100% agree with that. Like, it wasn't so much, there wasn't like any sort of excitement around it. It was more of like, the way I handled this listen was like, I'm gonna just like honor Mac after enjoying Swimming for so long. I'm like, it only feels right that I should listen to this and like give my full attention to it and just hear him out, because that's what it really felt like. I don't know. It's just I think I don't know. It was really hard for me to like really get through the whole album and have like specific, like, I didn't have like a bunch of tracks that I was like automatically identifying with and like being sympathetic to, and like remembering which track was a big one too. Because for me, as an emotional listener, there wasn't anything that like really like stuck out to me besides I think it was like later in the album. Let me take a look at the track names. It was Right. So track number 13, which was on the deluxe, I guess.
Yeah.
So these tracks weren't even on like the regular album. So Right and then Surf. Those were the two tracks that I really felt like resonated with me in some way, and we'll listen to them obviously, but
interesting.
I didn't have like, the one thing that super weird, I don't know what it is, but like maybe it's because there wasn't like any funky bass lines or fucking
compared to Swimming, where
there just wasn't like the spectrum of music didn't really there's no peaks and valleys. It's kind of all this somber sort of experience, you know what I mean, throughout it. And I couldn't fucking like have specific tracks that like I gravitated towards or found myself like, oh, I need to listen to that again, until it was later on in the album, which is really weird.
I I agree with that, because like I want to say it's after Hand Me Down, so track 8, or no, after track 9, so That's On Me. Hands and Surf just kind of blend together at that point for me.
Yeah,
because like That's On Me to me had this kind of like accountability, holding himself accountable, and but also like just this weird vibe to it. Like the whole album has this weird vibe that works as an album.
right.
I wouldn't recommend this as like, yo, you got to listen to this album. Like Swimming is still my number one album to recommend people to for Mac.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one where if you enjoyed Swimming and him and the message that he was giving in Swimming of like, hey, I was drowning, but now I'm swimming, and talking about getting himself up out of these depressing times, you owe it to yourself to kind of listen to Circles and listen to, the other side of it, where not every day was he able to actually get up and swim. Some days he just kind of sat there and floated. And there were some days where he went underwater for a little bit and then came back up.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not as focusing as much on the actual swimming part as much as the being in the water.
Yeah, I think like the feeling that I got from Circles was that this was Mac barely above water. That's what I got from it. I don't know if it's because like he didn't get a chance to like master the album, or if the album was completely finished beforehand, but there's something missing that I feel like, and it's Mac. You know what I mean? Like Mac wasn't there to complete this entirely, because if he was, I don't know. This is maybe just wishful thinking. We can only speculate, right? Because this was released after his death, but the way I heard this album in my like lens was that this was like a very subdued, very down, like barely above water Mac, and you can hear it in how he raps, in his singing, and I think like the first track kind of gives you like an indication of that, just because like it's not very articulated. It sounds like he's kind of got his teeth closed, he's barely speaking, clearly he's just kind of like down and out, even though it is like it sounds like defeat a lot in this album, and it kind of hurts. Digi, welcome back, dude. It looks like you're muted. I don't know if you're still setting up. Okay, cool.
I'm still setting things up, but I definitely heard you guys and what you had to say about the album overall to you. I think those are like great observations, man. I didn't even like pay attention to like until you. Well, I did pay attention to it, but it didn't dawn on me that like, oh yeah, man, he's like slurring his words like a lot heavier than like he probably would be if he was sober. So I think that's a very like astute point about Mac Miller and where he was at in life and in the creation of this art for this album. It is very sad, like knowing what happened to him, an accidental overdose, and just knowing these things and the subject matter of the album, so much about mental health, so much about his flaws, so much talking about like or alluding to and implying that there was just ways that he wanted to like give up and like let go, and he dressed that up so colorfully. It's like very sad to know, but like you could also tell that he was trying to like, if that should have happened to him like at the time that he was writing it, he was like trying to like also console like his audience and let his fans know like, hey man, it's gonna be all right, because we'll see each other again in the afterlife. And it's like, oh shit, dude, like this is making me really sad, man. But like I understood what he was going through.
Yeah,
it makes me super sad, but
agreed. With that being said, I think it's the best to introduce the first track off the album, and I think to do this, the introduction to this album justice, I think we should listen to the whole first track. You guys agree?
I'm down.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna play this through the headphones. Christy, hey, welcome in. For everybody just coming in, if you're gonna listen to any album off Mac Miller's discography, recommendation would be Swimming. In my opinion, I haven't had a chance to go back and listen to his earlier stuff, but Swimming was the first album that I was introduced to, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And for everybody who has been in the show and experienced the show before, one favor to ask, please, if you guys see new people coming in, and when I say new people, I mean they could have been following the channel for a while, but what I mean is like, consider this a space where we invited you guys in to listen to us speak and talk about the album. And Grum and Digi, DigitalMayne, we call him Digi, okay?
Digi,
and
they call me Digi.
And if you guys, I trust them to see anything in chat and like bring it up, but we really depend on you guys to be warm and welcoming as well, because this is a discussion, and you'll notice like the notifications and stuff are going to be not going off the entire time while we're going in, even if we get raids or whatever. So we want to make sure that we're as warm as welcoming as possible, and you guys will help with that by saying hello and cluing people in as to what's going on if they have any questions. And if you guys have anything that you want to talk about, please don't hesitate to type it in the chat, whether it's about how you're feeling about the song or whatever. That's what this whole thing's for, okay? All right.
For sure. Agreed.
So this first track, let me get this up here real quick.
I'm so happy we're doing this. Like, what is it, a month ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Where we were talking about, just me and you were just talking about Mac, and I was just talking about this album, and it just being just a experience.
Yeah. It is an experience, man. All right. First track off the album Circles. This track is called Circles.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Great place to pick up from where the last album left off at, right?
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And last time we talked, or Grum talked about how this could be the first track on Swimming, and I agree. It's but I don't know, man. After listening to this whole album, I feel like this is the right track.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I just say you could flip them, and it would change your outlook of the actual. I feel like if you listen to Swimming, right, and you listen to Come Back to Earth first, with everything that follows Circles, you don't get as much of the isolation, the loneliness, the sadness as much. It's still there, but like this is both first songs on both these albums are perfect for what they're setting up for the rest of the album. But they would work if you took them. They'd be like they're like they're a really good player, right? You just take them from one team, and they'll be on the other team, and they'll be really good, and they'll help that team. But they're perfect on the team that they're on.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
Clap it up, clap it up,
Clap it up, clap it up.
Had to get it in there.
Yeah, no, we gotta clap it up every time, man. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely got teary eyed listening to that for the first time.
I mean, I got teary eyed. Like I was starting as soon as it started. I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I must start crying on stream.
Dude, I'm already emotionally vulnerable. We're all emotionally vulnerable right now, dude. We were talking about this last time before the album got started. It's like we're gonna cry.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to come. There's some heavy songs that like they just hit you, and it's just the entire album is just like never. It's like nope, no. Your feels are just constantly being like you don't get a second to be like, wow, that's a lot. It's just like no, everything goes until the end of it, and you're like an hour later. What was that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I don't know. The instrumentals were absolutely perfect. It's like what this album was to me, and this song kind of sets the tone for what the rest of the album is it's the vulnerable state that Mac was in with no beauty behind it. It's just no, sorry, not beauty behind it. No metaphors or music to like have some base understanding. Like there were some tracks in the last album we talked about where they're very happy and they feel like they don't give a fuck and confidence and stuff, but there's like in the musicality of the tracks there's like this underlying like uneasiness or creepiness toward like musically that's inserted. And I didn't get that really at all in this album. I just got like all of that is stripped away, and it's like this is what I'm dealing with, guys. Like I'm fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
And
He was so lost.
Yeah.
He was so lost, man. Like, and he knew that it was cyclic, and which is why, of course, we have the song title and album title Circles. And that it's just so relatable for so many people, man. Like we just go through these ebbs and flows, man, and it can feel super fucked up sometimes. And he was just great at capturing that thing that is just a commonality between all people of what's going on in our heads, what's going on with our emotions. And man, listening to this, it's so somber, so melancholy, but there's something like very beautiful about it at the same time.
I think that beauty lies in what that resonation with like everyone. You know what I mean? You just talked about, you know, how like we've all been what we felt was like a vicious cycle or just kind of stuck, whether it's in life, emotionally, financially, job wise, whatever. And that vulnerability like transcends all things. Like it speaks to you, to the consciousness that exists inside yourself, and that's nuts, man. What do you guys say we go to the next track? Grum, do you have anything else to add? I'm sorry.
Not the circles. No. I've talked about that song so much.
Konky, did you check out the deluxe version of this album, by the way?
Yeah, actually, while you were restarting, one of the tracks that I really like is from one of the deluxe tracks. It's Right, track number 13, which wasn't on the original.
I like that one too. I like both of them.
You like the last two, Right, and Floating? Yeah, Floating is good. It gave me a little bit of like it gave me the same vibes as like the end of Swimming, but obviously this is a lot more impactful because this is post his death. So it's like fuck, dude. Yeah. What do you think would be the next track we should go to, guys?
So personally, I kind of like really, really vibed with like every other track of the album until we started getting like deeper in it. And then I was like, oh yeah, all right, they're in the pocket now with this one. Cause this is mostly produced by Mac Miller and John Bryan. Once again, the great John Bryan, great instrumentalist, great mind. But yeah, until I think maybe like the second half of the album, that's when I felt like they really started getting in the pocket. And then you add the two deluxe tracks. I was like, oh snap. So like the third track,
Blue World.
Blue World. I was really like, oh,
okay. Yeah. So we actually, while you were restarting, me and Grum were talking about how like the second half of the album was like that was like the part of the album that like I can recall where my brain was like more awake, because you get sort of like the same vibe for a while. You know, before you're starting to like wake up or get in the pocket, or what's that reference before? Because when you say get in the pocket, is that just like really getting a hold of how the album's supposed to sound?
No. So like hitting the pocket is a musician's term for like when somebody's able to like hit the groove of a rhythm and a harmony and a melody like in a way that's super resonant with the audience.
Okay.
That like it really connects, and it's like, oh man, it's just vibrating through your body meat, your chest meat, your heart, your soul, everything, dude. Like, wow,
my body meat vibrating.
My chest meat. Look at my chest meat.
Our boy Kyle said he misses playing music. Kyle, I feel you so much, man.
Hell yeah.
See, I liked the first four tracks. So Circles, Complicated, Blue World, and then Good News being the last one, which was the first single.
I did like Good News, yeah.
Those four really encompass the entire like spirit of the album. Like I've got it going on in my headphones, and I'm just doing Complicated, and it's got that, it's got that little bit of that vibe from Swing. So if you're just like you're listening to the synths, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, and it's just, it's kind of, it repeats itself a little bit, but it's, along the lines of like, why does everybody got to get up? Why does it got to be so complicated? And it's kind of one of those songs that is just asking the same question over and over again. And I get why like that one doesn't hit with everybody, but for me,
I still liked it though. So I won't say that I didn't like it.
Let's listen to Complicated, and we won't go like, I mean, I wanted to listen to the full Circles track, because that's an easy one. Like beginning of the track, like I feel like we all agree Circles phenomenal. So let's do Complicated, and then like for those tracks that we're really passionate about, we can listen to the whole thing. Does that sound good?
That worked. Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is Complicated, track number 2 off the album Circles. I do very much like the bass and synth combo in there. It's very nice.
And totally different from like it starts off and you're like, what the like circles hits and then it starts off with the bass and you're like, okay, all right, and then it's just like, very I'm too young to be getting this old. And you're like, oh, all right, that's okay. Again, the misdirection with the music, right? It sounds like it's gonna be something different, and then you listen to it and it's oof.
Yeah, one of the themes that like I think the first track really had locked in was the or in the pocket, as our boy Digi said. I'm gonna try to use that more because that's a very good description. It just the theme is is circles, right? The whole album is circles and going through the motions, and it just sounds like he's going through the motions of the day. And lyrically, like I don't know what it is, the musicality of it always falls back to like Mac rapping and then talking about his shit, and then it goes back, like the ebbs and flows are present throughout I think the first half of the album, and then it becomes more nuanced and like beautified and technical a little bit later on after the 8th track or so. But yeah, that was Complicated, track number 2. I don't have much to say other than that stuff. What do you guys have to add? Anything?
I just think that he was just speaking to like a truism of life, man. Like we always feel like everything is just getting so complicated. And maybe more than what it actually is, or maybe it just is. And it was cool that he could make like an anthem for that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's
the one line that resonates with me is very early on. It's the end of the first verse. Is like some people want to say they want to live forever. That's way too long. I just want to make it through today. And it's just like, yeah, like same, Mac. Like
Same.
holy shit, like with everything going on, especially, but like even just a year ago is just very much like, all right, cool. Monday morning, all right, got to get up, go to work, and just want to make it through today. And there's people like, oh, I can't wait for Friday, and I'm like, dude, can I get through today? Like, I don't even want to think about Friday, let alone forever.
Yeah, I just want to be in the moment and not really like deal with the other shit. I'll take it as it goes, as it comes to me.
Dude, I just got to say, Post Cubicle Kyle and Fat Crack Rock, 2 of my buddies,
the homies,
our buddies, humongous Mac Miller fans. And Kyle says Mac Miller will never stop loving my city of Pittsburgh, where Kyle's from. He never stopped giving. He was love, man, and much love is needed. Crack is like 100% there with Kyle, dude. And I hey, man, my heart goes out to you guys because all his fans need it.
All right. So next up, next track is going to be Blue World, track number 3 off of the album Circles. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know we're running into some technical issues here, but I appreciate you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Blue World coming up.
Hey.
Yeah,
are you a DJ, Konky? Are you a DJ, dude?
DJ, what do you
mean?
That fade out, boy, that was nice.
I got that shit on a slider, baby.
Hey. Slider mixer, baby.
Yep. Yeah, and Charlie, thanks for doing that. So there's no Tiltify integration for the Chicago Bond program, but essentially it's a bailout program for all the Chicago protesters. If you'd like to donate, links are right there. So please, if you can, donate. I know that the Minnesota Fund, which is integrated with Tiltify, they were like, literally, we have too much money. You guys need to donate to other causes. So I found that link. I'm waiting for Tiltify integration, but that's how we're showing our support there.
And guys, as Konky was just saying, like everybody in my chat, head over to Konky's channel if you'd like to help donate to that. Just hit !BLM for Black Lives Matter, and you will see what he's talking about.
Oh hell yeah, Charlie! You're working on getting a ton new ones added. Fuck yeah! Thank you for that,
Charlie.
So that was track number 3, Blue World, and I forgot. I thought this was later on in the album, and you know what? You want to know why? It's because after listening to this album on repeat for a few days, the whole album, just like in the swimming can repeat itself like perfectly.
Oh, okay.
So I totally forgot I thought Blue World was like track number 9 or 10 or something. Totally fucked up.
No,
This gets smooched for me.
Wow.
Fuck
yeah, no, it's so good. Like, you know, it starts out where you're going, what? And then you start listening to it, and it's, you know, just like, hey, devil at the door, don't trip. Gotta let him in.
The fuck?
Don't trip.
Yeah.
Don't
And
trip.
Oh my
You
god.
just like, hey, cool, like shit's going on right there at your door. You can just you don't have to be, you don't gotta look, you're good. Don't trip.
You good.
Don't trip, baby. You're right.
Agreed.
Dude, man, this song, like, I think it's the instrumental, like, mixed with just that phrase, like, in that rhythm, that, like, is what really just connects with me. Don't trip, like, in that. Oh man, it's so
Trip.
good, dude. Like, I don't know why. Like, this was like the first track though that I got like super hyped for, like, off of this album. I was like, ooh, this is it, man.
All right, Ground.
That
Calm
synth
the
is
fuck
hidden.
down, dude. Okay? Just calm down.
What do I do? Why you gotta put me on blast like that with the full
What
screen?
do you mean? What do you fucking mean? You're doing that
I know
shit.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. God damn it. How damp of you. You're a damp boy.
I ain't kissing no babies. Yeah.
Not thinking, so, you know, but like, right, so I don't know, like there's certain parts of this song that, like, the whole song's great, but like the I'm not politicking and no kissing no babies, that one like hits me because that kind of like, for the longest while, like I talked about this last time we were talking about Mac, and I listened to him when I was in high school, and then I grew out of his music, and then I didn't come back until like swimming, and so I missed out on all this little stuff, and I went back and listened to it. I'm like, wow, he just always was himself. You know, he just kind of never tried to be bigger than what he was supposed to be. He just said, you know what, this is music I make, and if it's good, it's good. You're gonna like me because my music is good, not because you know, doing things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not schmoozing with who I need to schmooze. And I'm like, you know, like, it's good to see that up and even to his death, and even his music that got released post death, you know, hey man, I'm just be me. I'm me. If my music's good, I'm defined by the quality of the person I am, not because of what I did out, you know, to make people think I was better than that.
Yeah. So going back to what we were talking about. So Blue World. So the part where he's like, I'm not politicking, no kissing, no babies. Hold on one second. The devil on my doorstep being so shady, don't trip. We don't gotta let him in, don't trip. I let it go, but I never go with it. So like this is one of those tracks where like the ebbs and flows, like he's got these feel good vibes, and this is one of those good days where like he can recognize what that addiction is and see it for what it is. You know what I mean? And then just kind of like don't trip. That's his like mantra for that song. And the devil could be, you can interpret that for, obviously for Mac, it was like his substances and stuff, but you can definitely.
But it's also religious too, right? Like, he seems like he's talking about God and the devil in here. So.
Right. Well, it could also like resonate with anybody else too, right? Like who's struggling with whatever it is. It could be sugar. It could be whatever. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good mantra. Yeah. Anything else to add on Blue World, guys?
No, dude. It's just the fucking bop.
It's a bop.
It's the bop, dude.
Yeah,
Certified
I feel
bop.
like in terms
It's
of
trippy as fuck, dude. I love it.
yeah, like they're like all the other, like this would have been the one that gets on the radio, and this is the one that gets played on the radio over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Right? Like, tell me I'm wrong, Gigi.
No, I'm not laughing at that. I looked over at Konky's chat, and Charlie's talking about how it looks like I'm just smoking all day long with no break.
But like, you know, this is the one that would have been the radio hit. This is the one because, you know, like it had the melody to it, and then it had the part where you knew like driving a car with all your friends, you know, somebody would be trying to keep up with it, even though it's really not that hard to keep up with it. But then everybody would be like, don't trip. Like, that's the only word you actually know. Those are the only lyrics you actually know, man. Like, just wait for that part. That's all you got to do. You don't have to try. Just wait.
Don't trip.
Just don't trip. Don't trip.
It's good. It's good that he knew to like tell himself that, like, even though he struggled with so much shit, I'm glad
Agreed.
that, you know,
I wish
he
this was something that, like, honestly, the mantra was able to stick around for a bit longer. Because, like,
yeah.
I mean, the other lyrics in the song, he's like, we could do a 180, like we could come out of this, like do a 180. Like, I love the positive mentality that accompanies this song, along with the duality of, like, yes, I am addicted to this bullshit and, like, the devil's at my doorstep, but, you know, I could turn this around. You know what I mean? I can fucking do circles around this
Dude,
shit.
that, and like I just thought of like a really good thing. Like, as much as we need other people in our lives to help us out with our problems, the other big part of it is that we also have to be our own saviors, and we have to be able to talk to ourselves and be our coaches. And you just have to like make the decision that, like, I am going to try every day.
That's the
So
hard
important.
part, right? Though, like the consistency of
It
like
is.
trying every day and putting up those good habits. Because, like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's so it's like that first track. You know, you can fall, and you could fall so deep that you can't see the light out. You know what I mean? But the more you, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like if you can see a little bit of light, you know that you can. God damn it, Pivotal. If you see a little bit of light, super generous fucking shit.
Hey.
I'm gonna donate that to the Chicago bailout program, dude. Thank you. All of it. I'm not fucking around. That's thank you. Oh shit, I lost my train of thought. If you see a little bit of light, that's enough. Like, that can be enough for you to push forward. And I think, like, everybody should be able to ask for help. But you're right. I think holding yourself accountable and creating good habits and developing a mantra and having conversations with yourself, I think that's like a huge part of it too. There's a lot of aspects of this, like, it's a multifaceted issue that has many different ways to resolve. But, like, if you can, you know, muster the strength within yourself, that's a really huge spark that can ignite the fire in your heart to keep going, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, and this
Ooh.
goes back to the point about how swimming is retrospective, and then circles is the introspective part of it. Is that he's looking at himself and, hey, how can I make my own day better? How can I make my own life better?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. And then there's the songs where there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing I can do. Just let it come in. This was one of those songs where he looked at himself and said, hey, how can I do it? All right, cool. Don't trip. You recognize things for what they are. Let them go. Don't trip.
Don't trip, baby.
I'm gonna keep that song in my in the back of
In
my
your
head
heart?
this week. In my heart,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
There you go.
Yeah, this
Oh
will be
man, I
my
was trying to
mantra.
make you laugh. No, Konky. Oh.
In my heart. My heart.
But yeah, I feel you. Definitely.
I feel like I would be remiss if we didn't listen to Good News.
I was gonna say we have that's
We have to, because this is a single that he also shot a video for. I'll be showing it in my chat to everybody while we talk about it. But yeah.
Please make sure you guys are. If you guys want to bounce between channels, by all means, fucking do that shit. Turn
Look.
TMHU exclamation TMHU. You can follow Grum and Digi. Digi is also streaming this while we're talking. All right.
You.
So track number 4, Good News, coming up. Very relevant, I think, right now.
Beautiful, my boys. Oh my god, it's so beautiful looking at your faces in this music video at the same time. Like, tripping out, dude.
It's beautiful. That is a really beautiful track.
Yeah.
It's getting the championship song. It's getting the championship song.
Championship song.
That song. I think that as a single came out a week before the album, and it came out during a string of like other songs being like nice and poppy and happy and everything, and then it's like that's the one of the top 3 songs that came out that week, and and it's this kind of somber, like, oh, nobody fucks with me if I'm not feeling good, but me feeling good makes them feel uncomfortable. And it's kind of like what made him, and for a while I listened to it. I'm like, oh, when he's feeling good about himself, people are intimidated. And I really thought about it. I'm like, he might more so mean because the way he feels good in that moment is the substances. and that's what makes them go, we got to bring you down, man. Like, no, you're, and it took me a while to figure that out, and but I think in that it's more of this how he's not good unless he has a moment of weakness and goes back to the substances.
Right. I would agree with that. I think like the one lyric that really stands out to me in the album is something. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, I hate the feeling when you're high but you're underneath the ceiling.
Mm.
And I was like, because that to me says directly like when he's, I mean, you can take it metaphorically, right? But to me, it's a literal, like he is literally high and he still feels like he's not achieving the same height he was previously with his substances, and he's being judged for it, like while going, through all these motions of the ocean sort of thing. It's really interesting. Like it's got that creeping factor again with like the violin strings and the somberness like in the background. I don't really know how to feel about it. It just like it feels like he's just mulling over like his substance abuse and how people feel about him, and I want to give him a hug, Yeah. Oh. Championship track.
I'm looking at genius.com, like what we're talking about it. They noted that they felt like he's speaking on feeling no reprieve from negative feelings in his life on this song. While people around him only want to say that he's good, wanting him to suppress the negative feelings that he has all the time. And it's like, man, like how often is that the case with like so many of us? Like you feeling fucked up and a friend or a family member tells you like, "No, man, you're good. Like you're okay, dude." Like, and especially like, let's say, like, I don't know, you live out in the suburbs or like, you got a nice job, nice car or something. No, dude, you're oh man, there's other people. I'm just like, no, man, hey, I'm feeling fucked up right now, dude. Like, and
it's like that feeling.
What do you do?
Like,
where do you go?
Hey,
from
how
that?
you doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm doing okay. Just okay. You know what I mean? Like
just okay. Well, you're walking on 2 feet, you're breathing fine air. You're like, yeah, I'm doing okay. Like
it's okay to be not okay, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's more than accept. Like if you're not okay, you don't like, if it helps you to be like, no, I'm okay. But like, I try when I'm not doing okay, I try to tell people as often as possible that I'm not okay, and then this way they know, okay, like this is, hey man, what's up, and I feel like it's weird hearing this song, knowing how Mac passed away, and then all of his peers coming out, and not many of them saying, I wish I could have done more. Like when these kind of deaths happen, like I wish I was there for him, I wish this never happened, I wish I listened more. Like a lot of people were there for him, which makes it almost sadder going along with the song, which is probably, this is honestly like the most alone song. The feeling of a loneliness and isolation on the album belongs to this song. Is just listen to it and he's like, I spent a whole day in my head. Like how, like I feel like that's something that a lot of people, like, I know I can relate to it, to where I just Sunday, nah, I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm not even talking. My mouth is shut and just me in my head, literally doing some spring cleaning and working on getting some of those, darker thoughts out, or just reassuring myself and looking at, the devil on the doorstep and saying, don't trip,
Yeah.
But also just like, damn, like this whole song is just, hey man, I'm alone and nobody gives a fuck.
Yep.
No matter what I say, they always say, no, don't tell me that.
What's the good news?
Mm-hmm.
Good news. It's all they want to hear. Yeah. Yeah, I think like, I mean, kind of speaks to what we're dealing with like on the social media end too. Like the social media, like nobody really, I think like this just because this is like the adolescence. I know a lot of people don't really think about this in terms of the time period in which, social media exists, but yeah, social media has not been around for a long time, and we're still in like the adolescence of what social media is. And very much, especially right now, it's all like, what are you selling? Are you selling yourself? How can you sell yourself? How are you like creating a positive brand for yourself? Like, and then because
product
of all these
services,
product services, like it's all
lifestyle.
Lifestyle. It's all fit. It's all the highlights in life without any of the gray or even dark areas of your daily living, you know. And nobody really gets to talk about those things unless it's in a long form conversation like this, or a podcast, or a conversation over Discord, you know. And I think embracing those feelings and really talking those feelings out with your loved ones, your friends, your family, that's not something that was even like socially acceptable until this whole like mental health revolution thing we're kind of in the midst of, or at the start of, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Mac felt a lot of that, like with his peers, you know what I mean? They were all dealing with their own shit, and I don't know, if anybody who only wants to hear good news, to me, has probably a lot of problems that they're not addressing. It's a form of escapism, and you can see that he's fully embracing it in this song. And
I have a question for you boys, a lyrical question on the third verse.
Sure.
He says, "There's a whole lot more waiting for me on the other side. I'm always wondering if it feel like summer." You guys think he was talking about the afterlife and his perception of things? Okay. Yeah, I had that feeling too, and I was just like, I wonder if it does feel like summer. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, the whole when you first hear it, right, you're like, no, he's not talking about that. Like you don't want him to, you don't want to like think about one of your favorite artists or somebody you appreciate thinking about that, right? Like imagine, like it's the feeling we all get when you hear a streamer that you watch. You don't necessarily know, but you watch, and they're talking about their depression, and them talk about when they were younger, or a couple years ago, or last week, or last night, or right now. You hear them talk about their struggles of wanting to continue living, let alone streaming, and you go, no, like no, you're not talking about what I think you're talking about. And then they say it, right, and then they say, Mac doesn't have to say it, because that entire verse is just him saying, maybe I'll find out. Maybe I'll find out some other time. And then thinking about it again, like, yeah, maybe it feels like summer. And then I finally discover, that it ain't so bad. Like that reassuring that it's not so bad. But then the last line, at least it don't gotta be no more, is like the line or the sentence I mean, at least for me, the people who have in my life committed suicide have always done it to escape from a bad life. It is their life no longer has to be pain, no longer be suffering. So for me, that last line, he didn't have to say suicide. That's what he meant. At least for me, from how I interpreted it. And he could have meant something different, but I know, reading that and the context of the entire verse is just, he's sitting there writing, music, making music, going, just one sigh without it, and then that's what happened,
I feel that.
Man, yeah. Championship. That's the championship track for you, Grum.
Yeah, that's that gets the title. That epitomizes this entire album. Is this song where it's just constantly fighting your own thoughts and whatnot.
Beautiful.
And like Bushi said, too many people ask how it's going, but they don't want to hear anything other than good, and that's that's sad.
It's accurate.
Very accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I think, like, I mean, what do you do in that situation, right? I feel it could be like, reaching out to help is one thing, but you can't really like be there for somebody who doesn't want it, right? That's the hardest part about this sort of thing. And listening to this track especially, it's just like, this is just the struggle of like trying to have conversations with his friends, like him trying to have these conversations. The struggle is good news is all they want to hear. You know, it's like, dude, I just need to fucking talk, and I'm feeling like I'm not being heard. And music was definitely his avenue for being heard. You know. What's the next track you guys want to go through?
Oh no, yeah, we got to go to the very next track.
I Can See.
Yeah, I Can See. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is track number 5. I Can See.
Man, that's the song like I can just put on repeat and vibe out so hard that I go to sleep with that on repeat the whole night, dude. Like, yeah.
What would you give this track, Digi? Is this good? You haven't given
it's
this
not the championship track, but it is like I feel like this is like one of the stronger tracks on the album for me, because I'm not like the super lyrical music lover. I am like the instrumentals, melodies, chords, harmonies guy. And like this is the one that like I felt like was like, or one of the ones that I felt was like, oh yeah, this like they pulled some things out of heaven for these sounds right here. Like,
agreed. I thought this track was like literally him taking drugs. Like that's what I got.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So like, I mean, just to give you guys context, so like the So Close I Can Taste It, The Man on the Moon Keep Playing, Practical Jokes, Planting the Mirrors and Smoke, that I Fade Away In. You'd Be Complaining, and I Can't Explain It. I guess nothing compared to the feeling of feeling amazing. Now I'm switching location because heaven too far when you live in a basement. I'm looking for a balance. I'm in an oasis. And then the musical progression, as soon as he starts talking about that, you hear the synth wind up, and it gets more into this escalated, euphoric sort of musicality. And that's what I got out of it, is like he struggles with the substance abuse, but he loves it. And he gets to a point where like he's taking it and he no longer cares, and he fades away into the sky. And that's I don't know, it's a lot of metaphor. It just that's what I got out of it. I mean, I don't know if you guys would agree.
I think part of that first verse, like he says, you be complaining and I can't explain it, like he's clearly like having a conversation with somebody right there, and probably like a close one, maybe a lover. And I
would agree. Yeah,
heard a rumor that like a lot of the source of like contention sometimes between him and his ex-girlfriend Ariana Grande was his drug use.
I would imagine,
and I could definitely see that being the case right there with him making a lot of those metaphorical comparisons.
Yep. And he can't explain it, you know what I mean? Like,
ooh,
yeah. And then like a lot of this, like later on in the song lyrically, it's just him asking for help but not knowing how to do anything but ask. I need somebody to save me before I drive myself crazy, and all I know if I live, if life is but a dream, then so are we. Show me something. He's like trying to find himself like in his use. It's crazy. And the second half of the song we didn't get into, he's like, yeah, don't tell me to stop, let me keep going until I cannot. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, dude, this is fucking crazy.
Well, the next line is where it really hits you, right? Like going off those 3 lines, like life is a fantasy until you wake up in shock. Like, it's that moment that just hits you, and you're like, what the heck? Like, is that
what am I doing?
Yeah, the come to Jesus meeting, really, right? Where you're just like, what? Where you're looking around, you're like, I don't have this thing. I should have this thing. I've been sitting on my ass all this time, and I've done nothing. What? This whole time I thought I was doing, and that's that's the best case scenario, right? Is that that's I've just been sitting and underachieving. But you can't say Mac ever underachieved. He achieved, and yet he's still having this feeling of that his life is a fantasy, and then something hits, and it being.
Dude, he hit a super bar on y'all that y'all didn't even see. He said, "Cause heaven too far when you live in the basement, dude." Like, jeez, man. I don't know if you guys ever lived in a basement been in your homes before in the
Yeah.
past, but damn, dude, just going up to the first floor to get some water is like too goddamn far, dude. Like,
No,
I
Agreed.
think about heaven, you know?
Yeah, you know, and metaphor. I mean, you take it literally, like, yeah, no, heaven's wait. You know, you're living in the basement, and that's a, you know, oh great, the closest bathroom is upstairs. I gotta get a shower. Like I gotta walk upstairs.
Yup.
And you're like, well, do I get dressed in the shower in the bathroom and get all my clothes all moist because of the condensation and everything, or you know? But Fat Crack Rock said, you know, Man on the Moon keep playing. He's talking about listening to Cuddy, and that was
Yeah.
that album is, if I ever have trouble sleeping, I put that album on.
Dude,
And
I've heard so many modern rappers say that that's one of the biggest inspirations for them to have gotten into the music industry and to become musicians and rappers.
I've
and
never listened
singers,
to that album.
well, we got a future one.
Oh, no, I guess it's going on the list.
Put it on the list, baby.
And it's so like it's so, that album, I can when it was an album that, like, I never, so I didn't, like, I've said this before, I don't really do any drugs. I didn't drink in high school. I sure as shit did not smoke weed in high school. But that was one album that I always listened to, and I said, this album is totally different under the influence of marijuana, because there's different parts of the songs that hit, and I'm just like, oh wow. And then like Man on the Moon 2 is very similar, but the first Man on the Moon is a story. It is talking about Kid Cudi as this hero come to save things, but also not necessarily that. And it's kind of, you know, it's a damn good album.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's
Good
go
to
next track
know.
that you guys want to hit.
So this
Konky?
one I leave it up to. I would love to have some guidance, because for me this is where like things get a little bit murky.
So Woods is good.
That's on Me is great.
Hey,
Yeah, I was gonna say Woods is good. Hand Me Downs and That's on Me. Those three are good.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to Woods. So this is track number 7 off the album Circles by Mac Miller.
Dude, this was like really like every other track for me.
Yeah,
I was just like 1, 3, 5, 7. Oh,
yeah, no,
yes, I
like
love it.
everybody's
You did
good.
mention that, yeah.
Everybody is good, but Woods is like, it's sandwiched in between I Can See and then Woods, and it's like, you know, but you gotta, it kind of with that ebb and flow, kind of like what you were saying earlier, Konky, where you know, you get into some songs and then it's coming down, but they all, like, straight through listen, this entire album has a, you know, gut punch after a kidney shot after a poke in the eye, like
all emotional, of course.
yeah, all emotional. No, it's not like this not like you're listening to it and all of a sudden somebody just comes up and just starts punching you in the gut and poking your eye out, you know.
It's not painful to listen to. It just hurts you as an emotionally vulnerable boy.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Bully.
All right. So Woods, track number 7 off Circles, coming in hot.
I hate love. Man, love is so stupid, dude.
Love is great.
I disagree.
I get what you're saying though. No. Love is terrible because love is great, and love is great because love is terrible. Like,
I think heartbreak is like honest to God, like the most hurt emotionally that I can think of. Like heartbreak and loss are very close. Just because you were like, you know, removing somebody from your life, and man, yeah, that whole fucking track, when I expected, you know, that line where he's like, do I, and he just says, do I love ? And that shit fucking hurt me, dude. Oh my god. I was like, he's just questioning like his feelings, dude. That's like the worst space to exist as a human being, is to not know if you're capable of like loving another person, because we've all fucking been there. You know what I mean?
and you know, and that's not a place where like you leave for good either. Like,
no,
something happens and then you go, did I ever wait? Did I you? It's right back into the circles, right? You're just back to going, did I fucking love that person, or did I love that? I don't.
That's so real, man. And that's why I say love is stupid, and we should never love another person romantically ever in life. And Konky can agree
Digi's
because
in a weird spot in the circle. Okay, he's in the progress bar.
He's somewhere in between me and Konky. Like, I'm here going,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, he's in like the 35% area of the circle. The part where he's like, fuck them. Fuck everything about this shit.
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, you know, I'm ready. I'm good to go. I'm ready to get hurt again. And Konky's like,
I'm hitched.
I'm good. I'm good.
I think he sings way better than he does in this album than he did in Swimming. You can tell he took some vocal lessons, and his range is a lot more than you know what's being auto-tuned. So I really appreciated that aspect of it. Yeah.
Cheeky says he's got that mumble style, and about that, Cheeky, Konky was noting earlier how he was getting kind of like sad because he noticed that about Mac having like more mumble style to the way that he sung his lyrics this album, and he felt like that was because of heavier drug usage. And we know sometimes, especially with drugs that are downers, speech can definitely get slurred. But somehow it also creates beautiful art. So it's like, who am I to judge the artist? You know?
Yeah, I know. Like when it comes down to music creation, especially, like, you know, I know substances can aid in creativity, so I don't. It's not like a dismissive thing. It just makes me sad that like we've heard what he sounds like when he's like on the up and sober. You can hear the tracks distinctively in Swimming. And he, like, dude, even that Tiny Desk concert, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell he probably smoked a spliff with Thundercat outside because they're making eye contact and fucking laughing the whole time, and it's beautiful. But he's articulating and saying things like perfectly, and he's like in the moment, like ready to do it. But if he's got the privacy, you know, to himself and he's recording, like, I don't know. See, that's what I would have loved to like seen some sort of documentary about like how he, you know, was operating as a person, because I know that, like, you know, him being open and honest in his music, he would have been open and honest if he was having these conversations, like talking with people, and being interviewed or whatever, you know. I just wish like he had the opportunity to just really say his piece and like really talk it out, because it's almost like he wasn't able to communicate his feelings effectively to the people around him, and he drove that into his music. And the disconnect, his substance abuse is a direct result of that, you know? Yeah.
Yes, I completely agree.
I was gonna make a funny about how, remember when we were all like, you know, 14, 15, and we thought we knew what heartbreak actually was. Because the girl we asked out on a date said no, and you're just like, no.
Yeah. Yes.
Samantha, no.
No, Samantha. No, you're the love of my life. No. I
made you this mixtape. I made it for you.
Yeah, I made you Boner Jams 20, and you didn't like it.
Don't look. It's not actually Boner Jams. It's a different thing. I'd already pre-allocated the resource of the actual thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's yeah, the whole song, right? Like when I saw it, it was called Woods, right? I listened to it the first time. I was like, huh. You know, he kind of feels like he's like stuck in something. Like he's in like a you know, a single spot, and he's trying to work his way out of it. And you go back and look at him like Woods. I'm like, oh, he's not out of the woods. He's in the woods. He's in the woods or he is the woods. Like there was
or he's having a hard time differentiating it. Yeah. Like, am I the woods? Can I love? You know, like all this fucking shit. It's like, I don't know. I think about I feel like this line from Mitch Hedberg really kind of summarizes that track for me in a certain regard. And it's like, if you're lost in the woods, fuck it, build a house. I was lost, now I live here. I've severely improved my predicament, but really it didn't. It didn't improve his predicament.
No.
He just like was stuck there, you know. living in it.
Dude, man, it is really hard to get out of that when you're either in a bad relationship or you go through a bad breakup. And I've been
You
there
feel
so many
crazy, dude. You feel fucking crazy.
times. Oh man, dude.
No
Oh,
sense of
my God.
direction. You're just like fucking emo fucked for the
Yeah,
You
yeah,
drop
man,
that hair and you're just like,
Yep. Listening to
Yeah.
my cam, looking out the window.
dude,
It's like 1 a.m. You got class at 8:30.
maybe if you're feeling real, you just listen to some senses fail a little bit. You're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, calling all cars. We got
Man,
another
who else in chat has gone through
Boxcar
heartbreak? Like, let
Racer.
us know if you guys have gone through this and stuff. Do you guys feel this as a track, man? Because like I see this and it resonates so deep and it puts me like in the headspace of like all like the bad parts of a relationship or the bad breakups that I've been through, man. Like Konky's right, like you do feel crazy and stuff, and like things that you're just like, no, like this, I'm asking for something reasonable from you, like as my partner, like I need this from you, and they're like, how dare you ask that? This makes me feel horrible. And you're like,
Yeah. How dare
But
you?
I was
And you're like,
told
that's
that that's what
reasonable.
you're
What's
supposed to
fucking
do.
happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
are we not supposed
My
to?
mom, my dad, my teachers taught me this. Like, why
Yeah.
is this wrong? What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I distinctly remember a breakup where the girl that I had that like she broke up with me and then she started dating a guy like 2 days after, and we had dated for like more than a year. And I was like, do you not understand how this is fucked up? And she was like treating me like I was crazy. And I only had this person to talk to. So like, of course I started feeling crazy. I was like, is it my bad? Like, what's going on? I don't fucking understand. Yeah.
Did I fuck this up?
Did I fuck this up?
No,
Yeah.
I fucked this up for sure, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you're just like, no, you didn't, bud. No. Yeah, you did. It's all your fault. No, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
No. And you're just going back and forth.
Yeah, and then it's just like, you're not being honest with me, but I didn't think to say that then, you know?
Mhm.
Super
Yeah.
weird, man. It's just all this internal conflict, and then the third person who's not emotionally stable is also adding to the woods. There's additional trees being added so that you don't even know, like, you've been going north for a while, but there's still, it's like a fucking randomly generated world, but it's just more trees are progressively growing in front of you as you try to make your way out.
You're playing Minecraft and you have a shitty fucking computer and you're just walking. You're like, I think I'm at the end of this. Oh no, okay, I'm
Nope.
not at the. That's not an island. That's just more water.
Yeah, there's more
Bush
woods
Queen
here.
says, Bush Queen says, yep, right there with you. So I'm so glad that Bushy feels our pain, man. Like, feels the pain of Mac, dude. Like this song, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Now,
guys.
let's move to the next one because I'm getting fucked up right
Yep,
now.
that's okay. Is it? Are we going on to "That's on Me"? Is that the track we're going to, or is it "Hands"?
Hand Me Downs. Hand Me Downs is
Hand-Me-Downs.
really, really good.
Okay, so right after this. So this is track number 8, "Hand Me Downs."
We gotta say how this track starts off with Mac Miller saying, "I'm thinking maybe I should thank you." Like that's just like smooth Mac Daddy talk right there. Like that, you know that got him some kisses from whoever he was dating at the time. Like, and you can see he's dated Ariana Grande, this beautiful young lady right there. Like you Mac Daddy macaroni. Come on, turn it up, baby. Like,
The whole song, right? When you listen to it and you're just like, it's weird, right? Where it's just like, you know, in all of the album's loneliness, there's this one solace of, hey, me and you should make some babies and make a family.
Yep.
Like all this of like, I'm sad, I'm alone, I'm doing this. Woods right before this is talking about how he needs somebody to save me, keep me sane. And then this song is like, I need to thank you. Sorry for hitting my mic.
You're good.
I need to thank you. It picks up like, hey, you're doing this to me. You're keeping me sane. And then Borrow Sora just saying, let's turn these jeans into hand-me-downs. When you hear it without the lyrics, you think he's talking like pants. No, he's talking about like 23 chromosomes a piece. Let's go.
Yeah. Takes two to tango.
Just Mac Daddy extraordinaire right there.
What was
Dude.
the-
Like that's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Song from Swimming where we were talking about how that was his Mac Daddy song.
Mac and Mac Daddy
Oh.
Miller. I can't remember. I just remember fucking Digi saying Mac Miller too many times and then forgetting what he was gonna say because he said like Mac and Mac Daddy Mac Miller.
Yeah, well,
And then he forgot. I'll add my 2 cents while you're looking it up. This song to me is both beautiful and tragic because it showed his dependency on needing connection. And I really, 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 and this is just my opinion, so everybody take it with a grain of salt, but when it comes down to relationships, I'm a strong believer in my own experience because this is how it worked. But when you find yourself and you have confidence in yourself through the connections of the people around you and what your hobbies are, you have as much of a balance as you possibly can have with like work, life, religion, whatever that means for you. It doesn't need to mean God. Health and sleep, like all the fundamentals of being a human being. If you've got a handle on those things and you're also exploring your creativity and you're exploring, the things that you enjoy, there's a certain confidence that comes with that. And it's the confidence is knowing yourself. And what this track really like kind of hit home for me was that he was so reliant on the connections of others that he doesn't really fully understand who he is, but he understands these feelings. And it just sucks to see that like this beautiful track, this oasis in this like list of things, it's about him loving somebody more than he does himself. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. That's my take. I know it was weird, but that's what I got out of it.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. Like, Go ahead, Grummy.
No, it's definitely that song that just of all the gut punches, when you hear
Good
it,
one.
this is a good one, right? Because it's it makes you feel like you're like, you know what, he was at some point during this album making process, he was able to find joy, love, and answer the question of, do I love? And even if it wasn't actionable love, or if it wasn't like love where he say, hey, like I love you directly to somebody who he was in a relationship with, he was able to say it. And and maybe the first line of like, I've been thinking I gotta say thank you, whereas did you say it's a Mac Daddy line, which it is, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's both. It's both,
yeah,
right?
and also the like thank you, because I wouldn't have been able to make it this far without you.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you're right. This is an album full of gut punches emotionally, right? Like Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like and like we love it at the same time. It's just like, give me more of that because I can relate.
Mm-hmm.
It just hurts that we're never gonna get more of it, Like this is just thank you, Mac Miller, dude.
I'm a sucker for this punishment, dude. Like, damn. Just please hit me again.
Yeah.
One more time, please.
Well, good news. There's plenty of the very next song, That's on Me. It's almost
good news is a callback, by the way.
Huh?
Good news is a callback, by the way, right? Get it? You said good news?
Oh yeah,
good
yeah,
news.
yeah,
Title.
yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, good news.
Oh, got him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's on Me is such a it might be the most introspective one, where he just holds himself accountable for everything that happens to him, and like good, bad, of no value at all. It's on him, and he takes responsibility for things.
Listen up, boys. I think we should listen to that track, but I'm here to help you boys be healthy, in that I think you both need a swig of water.
I've been
good call.
While we transition, because we're the water boys. Here, everybody hydrate
when we listen, just so everyone knows. I need to
rehydrate.
I'd like to dedicate. I would like to say, "Hand Me Down" is my favorite track on the album.
Oh.
There it is. It gets the platonic kiss on the forehead.
Yeah, let's hit it. Mac, you can't hear me right now, but I want you to know that I love you, dude. I really wish I could have given you a hug or at least met you at least one time. Because this shit fucking hurts, dude, to listen to. It hurts to listen to, man.
It does. And I'm like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like, and especially like now that we're here and we can hear things together.
Yeah.
It's making it even better.
I agree. This is like enhancing the experience. And thank you guys for doing this with like me. This is great.
I'm glad you guys asked me to do this weeks ago.
Dude.
And like, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out in chat, man.
Yeah.
Music is such a great uniter, and like for us all to be able to experience this together and just talk about it and vibe out, like it's one of my favorite things to do in life.
Agreed. All right, let's put this next track on. Track number 9. That's on me coming in.
Grum is the reason why Konky and I are in Mac Miller. Like over the past month is like the first time Konky and I really got to sit down and listen to a full Mac Miller project, and it's been a wonderful but melancholy thing.
100%.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, Swimming was one of those. I will say that Swimming was like, that album was something that I wasn't expecting at all. Like I heard about Mac Miller from other sources. I saw him like, you know, people post about him and stuff, but like I never really understood the impact of his music. And to do it after he had passed away, it's like, I really, 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 really wish this wasn't the case. It's just, I totally get it. I understand what you guys mean. You know what I mean? I can empathize with every fan of Mac Miller. It's
and then I go and make you listen to this. Like, like I was thinking about this, right? So, you know, I have listened to this album probably on average at least once a week, because that's how much I listened to it early on. And then as more new music came out for the year, I listened to more new music, but I still come back to this every couple weeks, because it's just, you know, sometimes you want to be a glutton for that punishment, and you want to be moved to tears. You know, if you know, like Jimmy Valvano, you know, you want to think, you want to cry, you want to laugh, and you want to cry, and live a full day that way. And this, it's still it's hard to me to a bit where I'm not crying, but in my car at Dunkin' Donuts, listen to this. Like I'm sitting there waiting for my order, you know, something comes off, and I'm just like, here's my card,
sir. That'll be $3.50.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I love you. Like, you know, but like that's, you know, it had that effect for me. Was like, I'm sitting in my car where I feel very safe and like, you know, allowed to be. Like I sing in the car. I don't know about you guys, but I sing in the car.
Same,
like, I let it rip. I've been caught where people look over and they're just like, what is he doing? And then I like roll down the window. I see them out of the corner of my eye, roll down my window. I just keep going. And they're just like, way to go, you know?
Proud of you. Great job. No, dude, the car is definitely like the most comfortable place for listening to music for me, for sure. And oh man, dude, podcasts, music. I can't even listening to That's on Me after he passed is just like fuck, dude. Like I just
Did you guys notice that during the chorus of That's on Me, he says, "That's on me, I know," 3 times and not 2 times? So it goes, "That's on me, I know, then it's my fault, then I know, then I know." He doesn't, to me, it kind of feels like that. He's he's taking he accepted the responsibility. The first time he said it, it was I know. And then the second time it was, I don't know, this is my fault.
Yeah.
And then every time after is he knows it's his fault. That he truly knows this time. He's not just brushing it off and damn.
It's oh god damn it, it's fucking heavy.
It's just getting heavier as we.
I don't mean to like. I'm not laughing because like I'm actually like, haha, happy laugh. This is a laugh of like, oh man, how do I process this?
Yeah. How do I process this?
I know is that this is the pain that I don't frequently deal with. How do I have to, how do I deal with it? And
but you can't, like, this is the fucking thing about this track is like he knows. And like what you're alluding to and what I'm feeling is that like he knows that this shit is his fault. Like his substance abuse and all this stuff, like it's a recognition that part of it is that he is not fixing the issue. And it fucking hurts, dude. That shit.
But like he's really also trying to like console the listener, his audience, his fans.
But like how did he, like this is the hard part.
Just an attempt. It's not like actually doing it, but he's
of course.
Like, I'm trying, like
oh god, man.
Like if this story ended the worst way, right? Is that he passed away way too
We're not
young.
even done with the album yet, okay? And he's already apologizing, and it fucking hurts.
It's all, I feel like we were talking about this last week, or not last week, the last time we were talking, and we were talking about swimming and how he knew swimming might be his last album. And I think part of him knew that this was the album that was going to be his last one. And halfway through, he's telling his fans, I know. It's on me, Like, don't blame anybody else. Like, dude, halfway through, don't go blaming somebody else. Don't say it's somebody else's fault. It's on me. It's my fault. And it hurts. Like, it hurts. So, like, saying it out loud, something I've internalized. I'm like, it's not like that. I would go blame somebody else, but like him accepting.
But people want answers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like people want to know, like, how did this happen? Like I was just talking about how I wish there was a documentary. You know what I mean? Like, I want more information, and it fucking hurts, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Angry Beaver.
We should catch a little bit of
True.
The next track, Hands. I was gonna say Catch Hands, but like I added a couple words in there, so it wasn't gonna be an extra pun right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should listen to that because that's like the only like pure like rapping track.
Okay.
On the album.
So this is track number 10 off Circles. Hands.
Some bars in there, dude. Like I had to look up one line. He said, "Hit the zoom on, be moving like an athlete." Now, apparently, zoom is slang for bath salts.
Oh,
Jesus H. I hope he didn't actually do bath salts. Like, and jokingly, like I always tell people, man, a lot of people want to talk about the downsides of bath salts and meth and all that, but they don't tell you about the super strength you can get from it. How you can lift up cars, how you can lift up trucks. Right on. All right.
No, you're
okay. No laughs. No laughs from these boys. Listen.
Dude, I just had my heart ripped out the last track. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm heartbroken. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you? I think we figured out if I have the championship belt and Konky has a platonic kiss on the forehead, do you have cargo pants? Because everybody be in their pockets. Because there's a lot of being in the pockets here.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
A lot of pockets to be in.
Yeah. I feel like because he's got so many pockets, he can actually give more than one track. They got it in the pocket.
Yeah.
No, I'll have to like come up with my like most powerful track, dude, because that's one of my
powerful.
Yeah.
Catchphrases, man. Powerful Konky, powerful Grumm,
powerful
Mac Miller.
Powerful.
Dude, man.
Pow.
Definitely some bars in this song though, dude. I really like it.
Yeah.
Just the only traditional rap track on this album, right?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think there's any other rap on the album that I can think of.
Straight every verse is rapping, right? Yeah. I mean, he had like some where like, he give you a hot 8 or a hot 16 here and there, but he went off on this particular song.
Get the fuck out of my car. This ain't a taxi. Like, it's just Like they really hate to see me happy. Call me what you want. She called me daddy. I got a knack for getting nasty every day. We keep in tally. It's like, okay, just go. All right, just stunt. Just puff out the chest a little bit there, Mac.
The man fucks a lot. I'm proud of him.
Get the fuck out of my car. It's just like it is. You know, it's like I stay behind the wheel, never half speed. By the way, get the fuck out of my car. I'm not driving you. I'm driving me. Get the fuck out.
Oh man.
Now, Rock was saying that he felt like Blue World was straight up rap, and I'll say I don't necessarily agree. I think it's more sing-songy hip hop than it is pure rapping. Like he's hitting a bit of a melody right there in these verses, if you can hear it, Rock.
I mean, that was like a solid block of rapping all the way through with no chorus or nothing, you know, in between. So
Hands is like the one where he's like no,
but yeah, I would
no
agree.
melody
Blue World's
in
like
the verse.
Yeah,
right?
Blue World is definitely like I guess like in the same category, just slightly different. There's a lot of rap in that track.
Yeah. What'd you boys think of this one?
It's good, man.
It's good. I got nothing bad to say about it. It didn't, honestly, because it's so the only like really wordy one. I found it like this song is how many minutes is that?
3 minutes 20 seconds.
It doesn't feel like 3 minutes. It feels like a minute and a half. It goes by so quickly. Yeah, it does. Because it's lyrically, you know.
And like I used to get mad at tracks like this that only had one verse, like in this newer age of music, because like a lot of the music industry figured out that like they started changing like the definition of like what fit an actual like song on like record contracts. And then once they did, and like artists started making more money, because you know all the artists in the past having like bad record deals has like helped more artists in like the mainstream music industry like get better deals and stuff. These artists were like, oh shit, well I only have to do like 90 seconds or two minutes worth of a song, so like that's all I'm like gonna give like the audience. And I used to get mad about it, but like we're kind of in like the microwave pop corn age of like where people were like, hey man, I really only have the attention span for like this length of music, and like I don't want like the super like long 80-minute album, the 20 track album, the 25 track album, the 30 track album anymore. Like a lot of people nowadays, especially the younger folks, they just want like, hey man, give me that 2 minute 30-second song, give me that 3-minute song.
We all agreed that like this was the last cast, but we all agreed that we appreciate nutrient density, you know what I mean, in the album. So I think that's like, honestly, if you can do that in 2 minutes, like I'd acknowledge it, you know, but I agree. It's not.
I've definitely come off of that stance as the years have gone along, because I find there are definitely artists who can be very potent with what they're creating. But sometimes I still get mad when I hear something that's like super resonant and is like they hit me with the 90-second interlude, and I'm like, how you gonna count that as you got a 10-track album, you got 3 interludes for a night? Man, if you don't give me that full track, put 3 verses on that thing.
You know who the biggest violator of that has been recently has been Kanye. He did it with Kids See Ghosts. That album was great. Every song was under like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
And 8 tracks.
I was furious. I was furious.
It's so
and
good.
then he has the audacity to throw in an outro part where it's just like, you don't need a song that goes 4 minutes. No. 2.5 to 3 minutes. It's the perfect song. Get in and get out. And I was like, no, fuck you. No, I've been waiting for good Kanye and good Kid Cudi for so fucking long, and you're just gonna fucking just dip my toe into the water. You're an asshole. I hate you. And I'm like, this fucker, he's gonna get me. He's gonna be like, yo, by the way, new Kids See Ghosts gonna come out 2021. Gonna come and be like, well, I guess I'm excited for it. Okay,
yeah.
So.
Dude, Kids See Ghosts, so good.
Quick final note on Hands for Me, like the bar in the chorus. Yeah, why don't you wake up from your bad dreams? That's a beautiful analogy that he made for anxiety, calling it anxiety bad dreams. Like They're
Oh
like,
yeah.
hey, why are you focusing on something like that hasn't happened? Like, why are you focusing on this dream of a thing? It's a bad dream. Like, stop it. It's like, nah, man, that people with anxiety can't, like, you fixate on it. And I thought that was like a beautiful way of
Yeah, creating
writing that.
false realities. He like took a entire concept and put it in 2 bars. Nutrient dense. Very well done.
Yeah.
All
right.
What's our next one?
Let's see. Not the very next track for sure. I didn't like Surf a whole lot.
Once a
Yeah.
day.
Once a day.
Yeah.
This was
Once
the
a day, and then the
original-
last 2.
This was the original ending song of the album.
Right. So this right now we have the deluxe album, which has 2 like bonus tracks. Once a Day was considered like the 12th track done. This is what you would end the album with. So hydrate, everyone.
Hydrate, yeah. We might cry. This might be the one.
Oh,
man, that's all I gotta say.
it's another one, dude. That's another one.
Man,
and he's just talking about like the struggle it is getting up and going to sleep each day. Getting up in the morning, going to sleep at night. Like, it's a lot, dude. Wondering if people care about you. Wondering if they know that what you're going through, dude. Like,
he's talking about how like don't keep it in your head because that's the one place nobody can see.
yeah.
Like that fucking line, dude, is heavy. I think like that's one of the biggest struggles for a lot of people who just have either mental health issues or just things that they don't know how to articulate like with their emotions. Because I think one of the things that I didn't learn until later in my life, around like 26, 27, was how to communicate my emotions to somebody. Whether it was like, you know, being like, I'm mad, I want you to know that I'm angry. I've said this before to Leia, so I'm going to use this as an example, but
Okay.
I'm angry because right now I feel like I'm stupid, and that makes me angry. It makes me mad to think about how stupid I am. And
Dude,
that,
I need to take that line from you. Oh shit.
it's yeah. I mean, it's something that I really like, and I'll just be open and honest, but like it's something that I've never really acknowledged, and it's not something that I've been able to vocalize until I was like 25, 26. And it's because for me, I was a boiler. I would just internalize and be angry, and I would want to like yell and scream, but I wouldn't do anything. I would do absolutely nothing, and then I would explode if anybody just tipped me over the edge. And it could have been something stupid, somebody cut me off. I remember that period of my life. I was an angry person like since I was like 12, from what I remember. And probably earlier than that, but you know, as a kid, it's like, how do I remember? I just remember being really angry all the time. And how do you deal with that? How do you articulate that? Well, I fucking didn't figure it out until I was 26. You know, there wasn't any tools or things in place for me to really do that. And so that line really does resonate with me. You know,
that is super resonant. In the way that you're saying that, I relate to you so much, dude. And like, I definitely grew up as a hothead as well.
Mm-hmm.
And probably around the time around 25, 26 is when I started figuring out like how to be a more effective communicator. And dude, I tell you what, I'm 35 years old today. Guess what? I'm still figuring out
Wait,
how
did you
to
just
be
low key drop as your birthday?
He did.
No, my birthday's not today.
Okay.
My birthday's
He's
not
Scorpio.
today.
Scorpio.
I just meant I'm in my 30th year.
I was like, what the fuck? How do you just do that? How do you just wait to tell your friends that it's your birthday?
By the way, guys, while we're all nice and sappy and sad and like in our emotional bag right now, it's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, man,
Yeah,
like
sorry, go ahead.
I'm 35 and I'm still trying to figure out how to be an effective communicator. And like, I definitely still get in trouble with my friends and loved ones when I mess up and I explode about something, and or they get hurt by me being angry, even if I'm in the right about my message. You know, sometimes people still want to kill the messenger for the message and how the messenger delivered it and stuff. And I'm like, no, but I'm right. But like you can't do that with people. So yeah, it's super resonant.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'm right there with you, Konky. I mean, yeah, the boiler thing, implosive. I just go and I wait and I wait and I wait. And the big things always were the things that I just buried down. I'm like, no, that's not worth. That's not worth. And then it'd be that little thing, the little thing that just went, and I go. And when I go, it's like scorched earth. We're not leaving anything untouched. Like I'm airing all my grievances, and that'd be good for another year or two. It's like, wow, like he's good for one outburst a year, but like, wow, when he goes, he brings up all this shit, and it's like, wow, and I've gotten better in communicating in the moment, but not necessarily being good at communicating. Like I'm still struggling with when somebody makes me angry, I just say, you know what, man, fuck you, you're pissing me off, and then they go, why? And I'm like, I'm not sure right now, but I'm angry. Something that you just did, something about it makes me angry, and I need to figure out what it is. But I want you to know that made me angry, so that you know that I'm angry right now because something you did. I'm gonna figure it out. I'll call you back in 3 weeks. Like Amazon order. I'll get you back. Don't worry.
No, that's definitely that's a stage. That's that's progress, dude. I know.
And it's not. I mean, it's not perfect. And I don't. Every time I talk to like my grandmother, she's always like, well, communication's always hard. It's hard to communicate with people all the time. You just, because you get older and you forget some things or you learn some things, and then new people come into your life, and then you got to relearn everything because what worked with your old friends don't work with your new friends, and what worked with an old girlfriend doesn't work with a new girlfriend, or and it's like, oh, you're right,
Yeah. I think a lot of life is just really getting back in touch with like deconstructing the things that you're going through emotionally. And it's like, I'm angry because you didn't empty the dishwasher. And it's like, are you really angry about that? Or are you angry because you used to not empty the dishwasher and you would be mad because you'd come home from late at work and you were the only person responsible for the dishwasher? You see a sink full of dishes and then you call yourself a piece of shit. And anything that like, that's me personally, personal story, guys. And so when sorry, go ahead.
It just went, it's like something just connected there.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not actually angry that you didn't put the dishes away. I'm angry because this reminds me that I did not do that, and I don't like that behavior because I get angry at myself when I would do that beforehand. And you remind me of my old behaviors. Like it's like you can't fucking control that, dude. Just like the behaviors that you see, there's an extra layer to them, and it's like, is this person so ignorant that this is like fucking blatant, or is it because it reminds you of a behavior you used to have that is so repulsive now that any reminder of it is an immediate fuck you, like, so
it definitely can make you angry to see your old self in somebody else.
Because think about all the people that hate you. Think about all the people that hate you. I guarantee you that you are probably your biggest critic. Because I know that for me, for a long time, I was like, you're a piece of shit. But I never really saw that. You know what I mean? It was just me doing that to myself for a long time.
Dude, and like a lot of our parents have like definitely gotten mad at us over the years for like doing something that we learned from them. Or maybe it's just like a genetic thing. We started doing something that wasn't maybe a good behavior, but they did it before in the past, and they get extra upset with you because like, how could you do this? And like, you don't know until like you grow up and they tell you. So but yeah.
All right. Let's get into this next track. We got a little bit off a tangent there, but rightfully so. Floating. Track number 14 off the deluxe album.
13.
No, wait, right.
No, right's 13. We got to go through right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Shit, right. Hold on, wait. Oh, man.
Right. You're right, then floating.
Yes.
You guys are right.
Track number 13, right.
Pun.
Shit, dude.
I feel like these last two songs definitely made this album just even more better, dude. I fucking love it. I really love it, man.
Yeah, right is a really, really good song. This, I think, like, I don't know what the context for these two like unreleased tracks are. Do any of you guys? Or were these not lost? They were just like part of the album when the deluxe came out.
I
don't think that they're lost at all. I think it's probably just a marketing strategy. Deluxe albums nowadays are definitely a part of like the post album launch rollout nowadays. So like you come hit somebody with your like actual album on day one, and then the record label is like pushing for like, hey, come back and hit them with like extra 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks, and we can repackage that album and have people restream it, and then it'll shoot you up the charts, and you'll make even more money, and we can get even more placements. And like, so it's like you're basically record labels are like trying to get more money and like hit peak status on the charts all over
because the only reason why I asked is because I'm fucking ignorant to that entirely. My thought process is always like, were these two tracks like just not on the album, and he had produced them and they were like singles, and they were like, this fits, this can fit at the end of the album, but that's okay. So it's probably planned then. It was probably planned.
Probably Warner was just like, hey, get in there.
Okay.
Make us some more money, baby. Come on.
Okay.
Get back in there.
Right.
Come on,
real good. That's a great track. That was track number 13 on the deluxe album for Mac Miller's Circles. And ooh, this is good, dude. I really like that track. If I had to like grab the two tracks that I like the most, it would be Hand Me Down and Right. Those are both. Hand Me Down, it wins it because it just touches me emotionally, like
it's really good,
way harder than Right does. But Right also has wonderful musicality. It just has great.
It's really good, man. It's really good. I think the final track is gonna be my most powerful track on the album, and I'll tell you why when we get to it. But this is just, oh, dude, definitely more heavenly sounds.
Okay.
Pulled out of the universe.
Okay. We're gonna listen to the whole last track on the album. Okay. So this is Floating, track number 14.
Hey. Right, bro.
Oh, really quick before let me start this over again. So Digi, on my end, because the audio is routing through the mixer, if you talk, and I think it's a volume thing specifically, since I don't know why volume wise, but you're like more garbled when talking on track.
Or garbled.
Yeah. Like
wow.
Yeah.
On your end?
Yeah, I think it's because the audio level for me is like so high. Because I can see you and Grum, like you can understand each other, but I'm like, I can't hear you guys. So just a heads up, okay? All right, so going back, this is track number 14, the final track on Mac Miller's Circles Deluxe.
Beautiful. Love it, dude. Like that track, the ultimate vibe track on this album. Like that's my most powerful song. And like, it's not because like it's like super intricate lyrics or like the most metaphors per line or anything. It's just that like it just speaks to that escape that we all want from our problems. And here I'm talking about soaring uncontrollably. Gravity ain't holding me down. He's talking about trying to get away from depression that holds him down. And just getting away to a different planet, a different place in life where like you don't have to worry about those things. But like the instrumentation is what really takes me right here. Like I love that Mac Miller had an appreciation for jazz, and you hear those trumpets, man. You hear that bass. Like they got into the jazzy chords, dude. And when Thundercat comes on, that's the bass player. Like during the chorus, Thundercat is like one of the best bass players in the entire world, man. And he tore that thing up. He got into those 16th note thumping dudes, slapping them, like just incredible, man. It's just like an incredible melody to ride out like on. Yeah, I love everything about this track.
Phenomenal track, agreed.
The whole time I listened to it probably for the first time last week, and then I gave it another couple listens today, but like I don't know, the bass line is just when the chorus is just ha ha, and it's just like, you know, I don't know if I felt like I was just like just going back and forth, just almost like it was so good, right? And it felt like an appropriate final song that we may ever get,
Yeah.
because it did feel like floating. And you know, the line, there's a room above the clouds somewhere between later and right now, and you know, it just feels like he knows it's coming sooner rather than later. Just kind of
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna get away when I can finally get away from all this. And it's just like, you know, of all the shit that we felt with every other song, this one was like the one of just like we'll just put a little dot there, a little period here,
Mhm.
and you'll be all right, because now you know it's a period, it's done.
Yeah.
You can breathe again, you know,
Mm-hmm.
come up from it, you know.
I definitely feel less sad hearing this as the last track. Like,
Mhm.
Agreed. If they ended it on fucking "That's on Me," fuck you.
Or, well, once
Fuck you. How dare you tear my fucking heart out? You know what I mean? That's,
Yeah.
oh man,
So
Thundercat tore that thing up, boy. Oh my
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Thundercat, like the one thing that man does so well is he represents the feeling of whatever the mood for the song is, and in this way it's floating, right?
Mhm.
And that bass line adds so much to, like, it makes you feel like you're literally like traveling, like you know,
Mhm.
with them. It's so crazy. And then exactly the backing chorus, it's like it's it's keeping the fastness of the bass at a like it feels like a steady pace.
Mhm.
I didn't mean to
It is.
rhyme. I didn't mean to drop that bar on you guys.
I barred up.
But that's what it feels like. It's like the lyric, the chorus is like the calmness to the chaoticness, so to speak. And even though it's fast, it's perfectly timed, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I mean, this whole album is phenomenal. Grum, you set the proper expectations for this to be gut punch after gut punch.
Good. I'm glad that I warned you ahead of time.
Yeah, and I would actually, I just want to thank you for introducing me to Mac Miller. You have changed, you've changed my life you've altered my life in a way with these albums. So thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Hey.
Yeah. Thank you so much, my dude. Like this has been an awesome experience. Yeah, I finally understand why all the big time Mac Miller fans were big time fans of his. Rock, Post QB, man, this kid, yeah, he realized his potential, man, and it's just, man, yeah, I definitely have to add it to like some of my favorite tracks of the year for sure. His last album, got to add some of that to my favorite tracks of last decade for sure. Like, Mac Miller's awesome, dude.
I'm excited though, because now I get to, because I'm gonna hold back from the recommendations, and hopefully I can get a couple of wow, it's the first time I've heard this artist, let alone the album, and
That's the idea.
I get to be like, all right, cool. Now it's my turn to be like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I'm excited particularly for Digi too, because Digi like stopped listening to music for a short period of time, and me, I was just ignorant.
3 years.
Yeah.
2012 to 2015, I stopped listening to music.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, God, this was great, guys. So that was Circles. If anybody wants to check out the previous video, we have that posted onto YouTube. This one will be edited and posted onto YouTube. And thank you guys for coming along on this journey. Does anybody have any questions about the album or anything? Yeah, let's just clap it up for a bit. Anybody got any questions? Anything you got for us?
Clap it up. Mac Miller, John Bryan, clap it up. Thundercat, clap it up.
And while we're waiting for anybody to ask any questions about the album or anything for us, we will be listening to. We'll come right back next Monday evening, / Monday night, depending on your time zone. We're gonna be listening to Joey Badass's All American Badass album. I think that's one of the most relevant socio-politically themed albums to have come out within the past 5 years. Came out in 2017. And it speaks to all the racism that we're dealing with in the United States and worldwide right now, all the racism that's happening against Black people. While it's also got some mega bangers at the same time. Like it's crazy to think that like a socio-politically charged album can like be super resonant and like also have some bops on it, but it definitely does. And it's definitely one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time. So we'll be listening to that. I can drop some links in chat for people. And,
what's the album's called? All American Badass?
All American Badass, but he spells American
with three Ks.
And the C to allude to the KKK. And we'll definitely get into some of those themes and the metaphors behind them.
Yeah,
but I linked you the first track.
I got it. I got it up already.
Yeah, it's only 90 seconds, so we might have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. But like, man,
let's do it.
It's one. So we're gonna get you guys prepped for next week right here, and I'll definitely drop the title of the album and the artist in both chats. So if you guys want to follow along with this, and I'll make sure to like start promoting that on socials tomorrow.
We'll do the same thing. Yeah, we'll look out for retweets. Make sure you guys are following Grum and Digi on Twitter.
Yeah.
So here's the album, everyone.
Digi's in just a heads up. Digi's in Twitter jail right now.
Right now,
I'm in Twitter jail, but I get out at 3 a.m. East Coast time tonight, baby.
Yeah, let's go, baby! Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up,
clap it up, clap it up.
Clap it up for getting out of jail, getting out of Twitter jails. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
So we're gonna listen to the first track off of Joey Badass's All American Badass album. The first track is called Good Morning America. That's America with 3 Ks. So keep an eye out on Twitter. This is quite the transition after the emotional roller coaster. So this will get you guys hyped and in the mindset to be really thinking about this shit. As somebody who's white and, you know, hasn't experienced racism at all, but comes from oh shit, Digi.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
No.
You can copy the link and like post it.
Okay.
Or
this is the Spotify link. All right.
Spotify.
You know what? This is a good idea. What you're doing right now, Spotify links and all that. So if everybody wants homework, this is our homework for the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely make sure to like I'll put
share album, copy link. There we go. Grum, fuck, dude.
On a couple of
there's Apple Music if you have that.
Streaming services for everybody, so you can have different options: Spotify, YouTube, all that.
But yeah, I know this was like a really nice chill episode and kind of not topical in terms of news or anything, but that we're really gonna transition gears here. And Digi, I look to you for the like communication and conversation for this, not only because you know you're Black, but also because like I trust your direction and conversation and just like you as a human being, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Because for me, just my experience, I guess we could talk about our experience with rap. For me, I talked about this in the first album. I got into rap late in the game, like super late. I didn't start listening to rap until I was like in my 20s, and a lot of that had to do with just like the boastful rap that existed, where I just didn't really understand where those stories were coming from about fucking women and having cars. Like it just didn't add anything to me, even though I will say it's very hypocritical of me back then because I did play Need for Speed, and you fucking know I was, as soon as that fucking start menu started up with the I was like all about it as a stupid ass kid. So definitely hypocritical of me. So this is gonna be awesome. Let's get into this track. Digi, you got anything else to say?
Hey man, I'll talk after the track comes on. We can get into it in yeah. Hey, dude, that's
That
man.
was fucking strong opening, dude.
That's like literally one of my favorite intros of like the past 10 years to any album. Like it's short, but it is extremely potent. It is full of bars, it's full of metaphors. It's like it's easy. The really like masterful thing about it is that it's easy to follow along to, like because he's just saying like words that we all know, but the metaphors that like tie it together is like what makes it like Ginsu sharp, dude. And it's so smooth at the same time. How's man? Joey Badass is definitely one of my favorite rappers.
That shit was fucking great. That was a great opening. That was my first time listening to it. Grum, have you listened to that album at all?
It's the first time that I'm listening to this album. I know I've listened to some Joey Badass on like features and whatnot, but I've never listened to a Joey Badass album. And I was expecting something wholly different. And you know, because of the songs he's featured on, and now like I'm sitting here going, all right, I'm excited. Like you know, this has got to be. I'm saying at least an easy 4 listens through for me. Like it's an easy 4 between now.
For sure, dude.
Like an easy 4. I might even go 5. I might listen to it once a day and just listen to it and get it and just get it through my skull, and then probably listen to it another 7 times. Like you know,
I'm gonna be on this shit.
Yeah, dude. It's super fucking flames. It's super fucking flames. And like you see from the title, Good Morning America with 3 Ks in it. Like he's talking about the Ku Klux Klan. We're talking about racism already off rip, like with that title. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about equality and getting equity. We're talking about like, man, just cop shooting us. And you seen it, like you said, now what's freedom to you is like the first lyric that you hear. Let's talk about it. Take a minute, think it through. I'm all about it, but the concept seems new. The coppers still shoot us down on Channel 5 News. Like
coming hard at.
That's in 2017, man. It's still happening. Like
this shit's relevant, super relevant.
Press my oppressor, suppress the opponent, channel my ancestor. He won't condone it.
Dude,
America, my masseuse, massaging my back.
I'm gonna get into those lyrics next. Like, oppress my oppressor, suppress the opponent, channel my ancestor. He wouldn't condone it. Like, that's so potent, dude. You know, like, and he didn't say any words that were like on the SAT exam or anything right there, but like the depth,
dude.
Yeah,
just those two lyrics, man.
I'm excited. Can we fast forward to Monday while I listen to this, like. Just like put me in a shuttle where all I can listen to is this, and just for like a palate cleanse every like 6 times through. Let me listen to Circles, and then I'll get back to this.
Come back, 100%. I think what's gonna happen is the hardest thing about this is listening to it, and then I'm gonna try to like not talk to you guys about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be like, I'm one of those people where that shit's gonna come up. I'm gonna pop in the group thread, and I'm just gonna go, woo, fuck, dude, and then we talk about it. Oh my god, yeah, I'm excited for this homework, dude.
I love this album. Like I feel like it's a masterpiece. I'm just how I feel. I'm gonna be interested to see how it resonates with you guys. And like don't feel like you have to think it's a masterpiece or anything because everything that's covering. Like just have your opinion straight up. Like
of course,
yeah.
Let me know. I'm not trying to suck people's dick, man. I'm trying to like give my honest opinion. You know, I trust you guys.
The track listings, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a song there. Why don't you love me,
dude?
I don't know the context. I'm going to go in with my preconceived notion of what the context is because of the rest of the album. But I am so ready to listen to that specific one. That and the one with J. Cole.
Hey, man, you have a great eye, Grum. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to influence anything more.
I mean, on Apple Music, I feel like the entire album just has stars next to it. Like, every song has stars next to it, which is like, this is a top played song. It's just like, it's 50 or 50-minute long. It's perfect length album.
100%, dude. I was looking at the length too. I was like, that's 50 minutes. That's nutritionally dense.
Dude, no,
That's a
sometimes
lunch.
when you hear older people just talk about the youth, kids, they talk about young rappers and stuff. I'm like, oh man, these kids don't care about nothing. They're just into mumble rap and like this, that, and the other. And like Joey Badass completely dissolves like, and he's part of like the young movement of guys that I think are really, and young ladies that are really outstanding and very upright, that are very like socially responsible with their platforms and really represent um black people and humanity and unity so well.
Beautiful. Beautifully
Yeah,
said.
I can't wait.
This is gonna be a great album. So you guys have the links in the chat for Spotify and Apple Music. I will I'm gonna post those in we can post them on Twitter too, right?
Yeah.
I think we should do that. We should comprise a tweet just saying like, hey, this is our turn my headphones up or homework, this week. We're listening to Joey Badass's Good Morning America and
I have to throw that.
Yeah, All American Badass, and you guys keep a lookout.
Yeah,
dude, this is a great show.
It was good.
Dude, thank you guys so much, man. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Like, great time vibing out.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you go check out Joey Badass's album next week. Let's all listen to it together, man, so we can all talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And make sure you guys are following TGrumm and DigitalMayne on Twitch.
Oh, did you just have an error, or is that just me, Konky? I have to save the outro for one moment. Let's see.
No, you're good. I think, yeah.
Let me refresh. Oh, okay. It was just me. Just me.
Okay. TMHU. There we go. Sorry, I put up because I spelled it like a dummy. Yeah, make sure you guys are following. There's the multi-stream link, so we'll use that next time as well. Any final words here from you guys before we close out?
Hey, be safe.
Yeah.
And be on the right side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Stand up to systematic oppression, racism, police brutality, and check in on your friends, especially with everything going on outside of that. But on top of this, reach out to them, especially the ones who see these images and think that could have been me, my brother, my sister, my mom, somebody, reach out to them, make sure they're all right.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Great.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Everything that Grum just said, man. Everybody keep your heads up, man. Support black people, support all people, man. Let's get through this shit together, because what's happening right now outside is craziness. Be careful when you go outside. Wear your masks. Checking in on your friends and family members. And you guys be safe for sure. Much love.
I would just like to say thank you guys for hanging out. And the one thing that I think I've always prided myself in and held myself accountable for is sharing experiences. And as somebody who's definitely got white privilege and came from a family that definitely is still and is, racist, speak out against that bullshit. Like when you see it, if you're at a family gathering or whatever, like let Uncle Tony know. That's fucking racist, dude. Don't be afraid to speak up, act, retweet, spread information, share experiences. And I think, we'll all come a lot better out of this if we're just working together. Yeah, that's it. I think that's a good ending, guys. So we're going to be listening to Joey Badass this week. All American Badass. I'm looking forward to it, and you guys have a great night. Please, again, make sure you're following both Grum and Digi. Bam. There's their links.
Let me shout you out as well.
There's the multi-stream link for next time. Bookmark that shit for Monday.
Yeah.
Do your homework. We'll see you guys later, all right?
Take care, everybody.
Wash your hands.
What was that, Grum?
Bye.
Wash your hands.
Say it with more chutzpah.
Chutzpah?
Yeah.
Chutzpah. Wash your fucking hands, you dirtballs. Is that enough chutzpah?
That's good. Yeah. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Take care.
All right, bye guys. See you later. Thank you so much for the show.